Hey everybody. So it's been, I was supposed to get this out in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks since getting off the trail. I did not do that, sorry. I've been busy since I've been back, trying to get everything kind of in order and try to get myself assimilated back to, non-feral human life. When you get back from these things, there's always something called trail depression. I used to think that was kind of a myth. I don't really deal with depression like other people do. So I thought, it hit pretty hard. So that's kind of slowed this video down. I apologize. So we'll just get into it. This is just kind of a wrap up video, and I'll just have some sections and try and address a few things I want to talk about. Mainly I'm trying to answer a few questions that I've been asked by you guys and just friends more than once. So I guess those are important things. So the trail, the Appalachian Trail is hard. That's so dumb. I knew it was going to be hard. I'd done some research, but it was a little harder than I thought it was going to be. A lot of the brutality of it comes in its relentlessness. It just never stops. It's just constantly up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. A lot of times you're just... The beginning of it, Amicalola Falls, you have the approach trail, which is somewhere around 8 miles. If I had the AT to do again, I would skip that. Go check in at the ranger station, then walk over to the falls and look at them, and then get a ride up to Springer. Save you that 8 miles. It's not part of it. It's just disheartening, but it's in there. I don't know what day it is. You have to look at the videos, but when you get to Neal's Gap, it's like right past Blood Mountain, which Blood Mountain you saw in the videos. We got a lot of rain on that. That was a real test. That was our first test. But a lot of people that I was up there with, a good amount of them finished all the way. So that was pretty cool. Neal's Gap, that's the place with the tree with all the shoes. It's like a weekend or something, 10 days into it. And you see those because that's it. Because it's a rough 10 days or a week, whatever it is. And then you realize that you got like 2,150 more miles to 60 miles to go, and you're like, I'm out. And so people quit right there. Georgia's tough. People don't tell you that. North Georgia, it's steep and it's rough. So it kind of tests you right out of the gate. Helps you just either put up or shut up. At that point in the trail, you're really just kind of thinking about the Smokies, because that's the next kind of big thing looming. Not the next big thing, but it's just in your mind. The thing with the Smokies is they give you like 8 days to make it through. I think we made it in 6. Rained the whole time, every day. Snowed one day. Walked on ice the next morning after that. The wind was 40 to 50 miles an hour. The AT weather was always 180 degrees wrong. Miserable. But in like all through hikes, if you're with a bunch of people, which we always were together, there's a bunch of us. There were shelters that would hold 16. We easily got 20 something plus in there, 25. So got real close real fast. In 2018, I did my first Camino over in Spain. A few days into it, started to rain. It rained for like 5 or 6 days straight, every day, all day long. But I was with a bunch of people. So, and it kind of reminded me of that. The commonality of it is when you're all together in those kind of conditions, I say misery loves company. Was it miserable? Yeah, but you're all miserable together. So that just kind of makes it better. I don't know. I hate hiking in the rain. But as I kind of look back on it now, after I've got through the whole experience, I look at the Smokies a little more favorable. But the Shenandoahs, that was probably my least favorite part. Not that they're not nice. They're a little boring and they're long. The other thing is there's nothing to see in the Shenandoahs. I mean, there's nothing to see. There's two things you can view. You can view, if you're on the road, there's actually a road called Skyline Drive that goes all the way through. And that's where all the lookouts are. If you're on that actual paved road, there's pullouts with beautiful views. You can, in the videos, somewhere in the Shenandoah, there's a couple places where I come out onto the road and walk on the road a little bit and get some of those views. But 95% of them I missed because I wasn't on the road, I was on the trail. Then from the trail, there's nothing to see. There's a few waterfalls and things like that. You don't get to see those either. Those are blue blazes. Those are side trails that you have to go off and come back. I think I did like one of them because it was a loop that came around and connected back with the AT. But a lot of them were out and back. I'm out. Here's the funny thing, is I found out, I didn't find this out until Maine. This is part of the not doing a lot of research. This is where it bites you. So there was this young guy that was working at the hostel that I was staying at. Was it the Maine hostel or Hostel of Maine? I don't know. It's a nice place. Good dude. He says, he goes, yeah, you should just road walk through the Shenandoahs. And I was like, well, we don't want to do that. And I said, I popped out a couple times and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, that's still the AT. I'm like, he goes, no, that's what the AT used to be. We call it vintage blazing. You road walk it and you see all the stuff, but that's what the AT used to be on that deal. If they found a way to monetize that, they charge cars to drive through the Shenandoahs and see all that stuff, and they just moved the trail and interior wise a little bit more, and said good luck. So I don't know how many years that's been, but decades, I'm sure. So I didn't know that. If I had anything to do on the Appalachian Trail again, do differently, that's what I would have done. I would have road walked on Skyline Drive, the mostly through the Shenandoahs. I mean, until like in the afternoon when it gets super hot on the pavement, I'm out. I'll cut my way back onto the trail and just stay under the trees and just get out of the sun. I didn't do just a ton of research. I know that sounds goofy. But the other thing is I think that people over prepare for things. I mean, most of my research on the Appalachian Trail is just because of curiosity from my end, and just I like watching people go through it. I followed a couple of YouTube channels all the way through in the last couple of years, and I enjoyed that. It was fun going through it and seeing the same things that they saw. So there is a part of that is like, hey, I'm actually here. Equipment, thinking, mailing, picking out things. It doesn't matter. You're still going to have to put on the backpack, point yourself the direction you're going, and go. That's it. Everything else really doesn't really matter. I saw people on trail that actually had spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets on their phone, and I was like, I mean, if that gets them through, I'm in complete support. But for me, there's no way. Dangers of the trail, they're numerous. A lot of it is just easy little things you can slip and fall off of and just hurt yourself. There's a million of them. Really to the point where if you make it all the way to the end, there is a luck aspect to it. Lots of stuff you don't see, can't see, night hiking even, crazy water crossings, that kind of stuff. And so you need a little luck if you believe in luck. I don't know if I really believe in luck, but if I'm lucky, I'll believe in it. Also, there were some sections in there that I thought, I'm very, very surprised in today's world that they even let people hike on. I think the world's a little too safe. And I'm all about being safe and everybody being all right, but you got to do stuff too. Nice edge in Rocksylvania, Pennsylvania. There's a couple little spots in that if you fall off of that, that's it. I mean, you're not going to get injured. I mean, you may just get injured, but it's going to be a bad injury. Kind of towards the end of the Whites, there was a mountain called Spruce Mountain that I was just kind of on this edge. It's just like a little section as you're climbing up. You're just kind of going up this bald little vertical face with nothing on it. And there isn't anything to really hold on to, and the wind was going really hard. I thought I ended up kind of rolling over on my back. I was on my stomach kind of crawling up, and I rolled over on my back just looking at my phone because I thought, I got to be off trail. This can't be on. And I looked, and I was right on it. Very surprised that they let people just be on that. As far as wildlife on trail, I mean, you saw the videos, there are snakes. I hate snakes, and I saw a good amount of copperheads and a good amount of timber rattlers. and then a bunch of those little black, or not big, they're little, they're big racer, black racer snakes. Although those are supposed to be good, they're all bad to me. Only saw the one bear, never saw a moose, saw 10 billion deer, and the deer just follow you. I saw one bobcat, but he was kind of off, and as soon as he saw me, he was like cheetah fast. My favorite places on the trail were, I like Georgia and North Carolina, right around there. That was pretty, it was beautiful. And that was in good food, good barbecue. Once you get to be about Pennsylvania, the barbecue's over. I liked the Grayson Highlands, Roan Mountain, that kind of area. Max Patch. It's kind of everyone's favorite for a reason. It's really pretty, and the hiking's easy. It's that combination I love. I like the easiest amount of hiking for the best payoff. Sometimes you hike horrible stuff, and you get to a summit or something, or a view, anything, you get there and it's just not very good. And you're like, wow, all that for that. Connecticut's very, very pretty. The hiking's not very difficult, so you're able to really squeeze in a lot in your day and see a lot of great stuff. Maine's very beautiful, and the 100-mile wilderness is very beautiful. I really like Maine again. I would do more hiking in Maine for sure. Then Katahdin. Katahdin was that was a lot of fun. Moosalik, was that? My moose is sick, that's how you call it, Moosinik Notch, the 1 mile. That was a lot of fun. And we were hiking with a few other people, a lot of laughing going on, and it was real cool. I'm about to leave the house, but I guess I'm waiting down Main Street where I live. All right, band number 2. This one isn't as good. When it comes to the people on the trail, it's always the same. Doesn't matter. Hikers are always kind of the same. You don't need much. A light pack, sense of adventure. There also has to be a little bit of an element of running away and joining the circus. So sometimes there's a lot of that element. I did probably hiked with, I don't know, 100+ people. Various amount of times, off and on. Same kind of thing, you don't see somebody for a month or so, and then you just bump right into them. There are some people that I hiked with that are still out there. They finished and then they headed back south and are just kind of skipping around and hiking like sections down in Georgia and North Carolina are still moderately warm, just hopping around to their favorite places. They're just avoiding going home. But I met a lot of great people, a lot of good friends. We're all keeping in touch, just like we always do on these things. Of course, the 2 people that were on the video the most being Village Tart and early on, well, the first half is Young Man. Village Tart is actually, she went home and hung out for a little bit, and then she headed back down. She's back down in like North Carolina area because finished up her 200 miles. The 200 miles that she missed when she got sick, got the walking pneumonia from standing bear. Everyone told her, it's like, you've done 2,000 miles, you're good. It's good enough. But she wanted to do the other ones. I think she just wants to still be on trail, even though she goes, oh, I can never do this again. This is the worst thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go back down. Young Man, I talk to him every once in a while. We text a little bit. He's on an ocean cruise around the world. I think he's gone for like 100 days. Then he has another big cruise coming up. There's nowhere in the world he hasn't been, so this is all just going around for his 2nd, 3rd, 4th time. Okay, so equipment. I'm not going to do a long thing and cover every single thing I carried equipment-wise. Equipment videos are very boring to me. I mean, I like to get information, you know, just like everybody else. Mostly I just trial and error myself because what works for me may not work for you. But I'm going to cover the big 3, your pack, your tent, and your sleeping bag. And I'm going to cover a little bit on my sleeping pad as well. So my tent, first thing, I took the Big Agnes UL2 Tiger Wall. It worked perfectly. It always kept me warm and dry. I did get a little wet one time, but we almost got washed out by a river, and the river was coming up. So if I had a log cabin, I would have probably gotten wet on that. But other than that time, it really, really worked well. And it's got those 2 large vestibules, which I used, and I couldn't be more pleased. The only thing I didn't like is the weight. Now the weight is great for a 2-person, and I say 2-person, it'd be 2 real tiny people that really like each other. So for me, being a little bit bigger guy, plenty of room for me and some stuff. It's like 2 pounds, 5 ounces, I believe. You can look and double check me on that. And that is very light for a framed 2-person tent. But I'm trying to get that pack down because my next hike, I'm gonna try and go down and weight there because I'm gonna have to add weight other places. So I'm looking at a trekking pole tent. Yeah, I know. It is a great tent. I highly recommend it. Next is the pack. I got a new pack for this. I used to use, I still have it, I love it, Osprey Exos 48, which is an excellent pack, framed pack. But I got the Hyperlight mountain gear. I think it's the Wind Rider 4400. I don't know why they call it 44. It's a 55 liter. Yeah, but it's the Wind Rider, so you can't mess that up if you want to look, hyperlight.com. My review on that, it did its job. It's as light as they come. And it's not, they say it's waterproof. Now they've changed that to mostly waterproof or something. They've done something to keep them out of the legal fire on that, because I did get a little moisture inside. And it's just the seams where your straps and everything are stitched into it. But I had a compactor bag in there. That was fine. It all worked out. The thing about the Hyperlight is it's light. I was able to almost shave a pound using that as opposed to my Osprey, but it just doesn't ride. The comfort level is not the same as the Osprey. Plus, Osprey is the best company in the hiking game. If you have a problem with anything, doesn't matter what it is, where you're at, whatever, they will do whatever they can to fix it on them. All my dry sacks, my little dry sacks that I put in my food bag, everything that I had in the pack, those are all Osprey dry sacks. Overall, I would say the Hyperlight did well. Like I said, it's not as comfortable as the Osprey, but I did like the weight, and it did work well. It's tough, very, very water resistant. The compactor bag you need to have in there, but other than that, it's real good to go. My hike next season, I will be taking the Hyperlight with me, if that kind of gives you a review. So my sticks that I had, my poles, they died. They barely made it to Maine, and they never left Maine. I dumped them there. They got the wintertime members only sale going on. New poles.
Sort of in neutral position. His elbow's going to be at a 90-degree angle.
Okay.
Got the carbon going between that and the aluminum. When in doubt, always go light. It's 30% off, plus I had a whole bunch of rewards, so I got those for 18 bucks. All right, so my sleeping bag. This is where I had to make a different decision on trail. I left here and hit the trail with a Thermarest. I can't remember what it's called. Something, it's the 32-degree quilt. I'd never used a quilt before, but I'm looking to shave weight. You get it. This is it right there. I thought 32 degrees, that's not really warm enough, but I thought, well, I'm not gonna hit that cold of weather, maybe the Smokies, just it's gonna be a dice roll on how cold that's gonna be. But if nothing else, I'll just put all my clothes on and get in there and I'll be fine. I didn't like it. I didn't like the quilt that much. I tend to roll on my side. When you do that, you kind of pull up the back and let air in. And the 32 degree wasn't, I was freezing before I even got to the Smokies. Honestly, I haven't had a lot of great luck with Thermarest stuff, so I think I'm retired from the Thermarest game. I wasn't getting sleep. I was having a hard time sleeping with that quilt. And just the beginning of the trail, I was trying to get in the groove of everything, and that was hurting my sleep. And then of course, if you're not getting sleep, you're not hiking well. If you're not hiking well, you're doing short distance. It's just a domino effect that's going against you. So I made a decision when I was in Hiawassee, is that right, Georgia? I stopped in the outfitter there just to see what they had. And they had all their sleeping bags like 25% off. So I looked, I decided to get a new sleeping bag at that point. I thought, you know, if this is already not working out, and I'm not even at the Smokies yet, it's just not going to work. What did I get? I got the Nemo Kaya or Kayu, Kayu. I think it's Kaya though. I could be wrong. You have to look that up. Kaya 15. I think its limit is like below 0. It's pretty warm. This is it right there. I got it for 25% off. It is a good independent outfitter who took care of me on that. And then they also took care of me on ship my Thermarest quilt back home for me for free. And so I thought that was a great deal. I'm extremely pleased with that sleeping bag. I did not, even though it's a warm bag, I did not mail it back in the summer. I just kept it because I had a lot of cold nights. I ended up kind of using it and used it like a quilt, kind of just laid on top of me. I am very, very satisfied with that. That was a good decision. I have a liner. It's more of a summer liner. It's an Insecta-Shield summer liner from Sea to Summit. I did not bring that with me. I thought I was just not going to use it, and I'll just kind of be dirty in the sleeping bag and just maybe wash the sleeping bag somewhere along the way. Trying to save weight, so I left it at home. I decided to change that as well, and I went ahead and picked up a new liner, more of a wintertime liner. It adds about 10-15 degrees, I think. Also another Sea to Summit, and I got that at the same outfitter in Hiawassee as well. The Sea to Summit stuff I've always had excellent luck with, and that was no different. It was great. The last thing is actually my sleep pad. Now my sleep pad was fine. I had the Thermarest Neo Air X Lite, the yellow one, the regular size. That's it right there. The problem that I had with that is it started to blow up on me. If you look in the videos, I can't remember where it is, somewhere. It's in the videos. I had to go into an outfitter and get a new deal because the baffles started to expand. I would have these giant tumors in it. So that didn't work out. And to their credit, they gave me a brand new one and shipped it right to my house. So it was waiting for me when I got back. So in the meantime, they had a little outfitter that I went in there and just had to find a new sleeping pad. I got the Sea to Summit. It's the orange one. I don't know what it is. This is it right here. They're about $150 range. So with that information, you should be able to find it. It did great. I love it. I'm using that. I went all the way through with that, no problems. Again, the Sea to Summit stuff has been good to me. The Thermarest stuff could be just me, just fell short. Now the one thing is the Thermarest, it has like a 4.4 R value, and the Sea to Summit that I got, it's only like a 3.1 or maybe 3.3, I don't know, somewhere in there. I really couldn't tell much difference, so I'm good. If you have any questions about anything other than these things, just, you know, message me. I'll be happy to go over it with you. I live somewhere kind of cool, I guess. Now, it's the full Christmas parade, the day after Thanksgiving. Money, I get a lot of questions about how much does it cost. It's expensive, I guess. Sleeping outside a lot, that's free. All the camping's free. Just camp wherever. Obviously your first major expense is equipment, but probably the biggest expense, well not probably, definitely the biggest expense is food. I lost a solid 30, which is pretty normal. I've gained 10 back already since I've been back, because I'm still eating the same. Hiker hunger, you've heard the term, I'm sure. It's a real thing. You just can't eat enough. Had lots of cookies. But the whole thing, travel and everything, I think you should probably budget $10,000 for 6 months. I think that's pretty safe. Honestly, I don't know what to say about the money part. I didn't have any kind of a breakdown of expenses. Like I said, some people have a spreadsheet which they have all that in there. you're still going to do it. You're still going to go. I've still got to eat. I've still got to do stuff. I mean, I wasn't crazy with money. I was very mindful of the money. Can't really think about that too much, if at all. You've got to think about the hike. You've got to think about Katahdin, get there. That's the only thing in your mind. I'm trying to think of something profound to say, because everyone, I think, gets into exactly what they spent, which I don't even know how you do that, because you have no way of knowing what's coming next. Hostels are anywhere, lowest was $20 a night, highest was like 40, maybe 45. You know, motel rooms, you can always get somebody or two people and share it, and everyone's sleeping there, and it can be sometimes cheaper than a hostel. As I said, food is the biggest expense because you eat a lot more. I don't know what to say. It just still comes around. Budget 10,000 and just be careful, just be mindful. And I bet you come in around 8. I should have probably done this, but there's a couple of good spots where you can just go right into New York from a train, go right into Manhattan. A lot of people did that. I kind of wish I would have done that, but if I'm going to do that, I need to spend like 4 days there. I want to do specific stuff. It's going to take more than a day or two. I just need 3 or 4, and I should be good. So I regret doing that. But that, if you do that, which I would probably recommend, you know, add some more expense there. Last thing about money is I'll use it to thank everybody again. I talk a big game how I'm just so above money and you should stay focused on the hike, which you should. The people that supported the channel, and their names are in the end of each video as I got donations, I added them in. A lot of generous people. Thank you very much. That money that I brought in helped tremendously. Took a lot of stress about money off, although doing the videos was a bit of work, especially out on trail and getting everything loaded up. A lot of people around me hiking are like, I don't know how you're doing all that. You're stupid. Thank you to everyone that supported the channel. This has also slowed the video down a little bit because I didn't really know what to put in this. I mean, I knew what to put in it, but I didn't know how much to put in, and also how to articulate what I want to say. If you've been on the channel a decent amount of time, you've probably seen the other videos and figured out I am a cancer person. That's a component to all this. You can look down below at some videos, just look for stuff that says, you know, cancer, and you can find out a little bit more. I touch on it here and there. I think about the midway point of the AT, I think it's day 90, reintroduced myself and kind of went over that a little bit because I was starting to get a lot of new people, so I just kind of wanted to catch everybody up. I've gone a little back and forth with cancer since 2019. I started through hiking pretty serious in 2018, so it did derail me, but I came back last season after COVID. It's not my identity, but I am a person that has dealt with cancer since 2019, and it was pretty significant. One thing about the videos, if you notice day 1 and day 189, I look a lot different. A lot of that is cancer. I've had to go back into chemo 3 different times, and I've also had 6 surgeries, but anyway, chemo, I did have to go back into it a little bit at the end of last season. When I came into the AT this year, I'd only been off the latest chemo for 5 weeks, I think. That's why I just don't look good. I don't feel good. All swollen from the chemo, steroids, that kind of thing. 0 training, just except for being in really great shape from last season, 6 months prior, or 5 months. When I started chemo back in 2019, the first time, I got real bad. It's fairly common chemo-based neuropathy in my hands and feet, a lot of nerve damage. I've been down to as little as 20% of feeling in my hands and feet. For the AT, I was basically 80%. I didn't say that at the time, but I had about 80% feeling in my feet for the entire AT. So a few extra falls. I was okay. I would say that first week, the first night, I spent the night, I don't remember where it was right before Springer. I could barely feel my tent stakes. Took me a long time to set up, took me a longer to tear down. I remember being the very last person by a long shot to leave camp the next morning. And a lot of it was I just was tired, couldn't articulate my hands very well. And I was just kind of beat, just in the chemo fog. First 4 days, three days, I think it was, I just thought, there's no way. It wasn't that I couldn't do the work. I was just too under the influence of chemo still. I don't have the luxury of just waiting until next year, because I have no idea what every day will bring. So I just had to have a real stern conversation with myself, I should say. Extremely stern, a lot of cussing, and off I went. And I didn't have that discussion again, and I had no doubts again. In 2021, I had kind of made my plan till 2028 as far as hikes. So I'm scheduled till 2028 on through hikes. I do have a hike planned for next season. I will start again on April 4th, like I did on the AT. I also would start on April 4th on the one in 2018, my first serious one. I guess April 4th is just kind of my day. I'll check back with you guys somewhere between now and then. I'll also do I know what trail I'm doing and everything, but I'm not going to tell that now. I got to add some drama to this. Do a trail announcement and, give you an update on health and whatnot. I have some tests in the new year, and so when I get past those or get past whatever the docs want to do. They know my timeline as well, as far as my hiking schedule, and everyone's on board, and everyone's just keeping me out there. I knew it would be a grand adventure, and I knew it would be a once in a lifetime, things I'll have never seen, I'll never see again. And I would say that it was exceeded expectations. Some of the things that I saw and did, I would truly put in the epic category. No matter what you're doing in life, where you're going, what your motivations are, what your activity of choice is, if you can ever reach epic level in anything, you're living. That made it exceed my expectations. And I miss being out there, as everybody does. Everyone out there is very different, but we all have that common thread that runs through us. Embark an adventure by our own power. All we have is our legs. That is it. There's nothing else. I couldn't recommend it enough. If you're thinking about doing the AT, the answer is yes. Just throw the con list away. Just go yes. If you don't make it, that's okay. That's all right. Just get out there and give it hell. You're still part of it. There's lots of people that I hiked with that didn't make it to the end. They're still my class of 23 brothers and sisters. I'll never forget everyone that I hiked with and everybody that I met. We'll always be bonded by the experience. We'll always be bonded by the situation that we were in. Nobody can take any of that away from us. I thank you all. On these through hikes, you definitely have a big, what did you learn? What did you make peace with? And there are definitely those things. I just think it's just the time you have, very one-dimensional existence, a lot of quiet, a lot of solitude, a lot of alone time with your thoughts and feelings. And you're supposed to, reflect on things, which I definitely did. And you're supposed to learn things. The learning part, when I first started through hiking in 2018, the first one, I learned a lot. I was coming out of a bad situation in my life a couple years previous to that launched me into what I'm doing. And I had a lot of things to overcome and restart a lot of things within me and with my surroundings. That 2018 was a lot. I think I squeezed 5 or 6 through hikes as far as, coming to terms with things, learning about things, getting in touch with things. I think I did 5 or 6 in that one. But I don't think that, and also, going through the cancer situation that I've gone through since, I don't know how much there really is, for me to see and learn. At least that's what I thought. And I thought that on the AT, which I don't care. It's not my main focus. My main focus is to have the time of my life and hike and be crazy and meet a bunch of people. Just get out there. But I did learn something, and it kind of crept up on me, and it was in Connecticut. Connecticut didn't have anything to do with it. That's the timeline. So it was deep into the hike. I think out of cancer and out of the pandemic, which that stopped everybody that was perfectly healthy, they weren't really hiking. There's a lot of hiking going on, a lot of through hikes going on anyway because of the pandemic. So last season was really the first real season that everybody just went crazy and got back out there and were doing the big hikes. And I was no different. At the beginning in 2018, I was just trying to get there and do them and trying to do as much as I could and try and squeeze as much as I could in and everything and go. And last year, coming out of the pandemic, cancer, everything, exactly the same thing. But it was different because the cancer deal was pretty severe. I wasn't supposed to make it out of 2019. Then I was just felt like I'm just trying to get one more thing in. I've got to get there. If I can just make this, if I can get to this finish line, if I can get to that. And coming into the AT this year, I felt exactly the same way. If I could just get through the AT, if I can just get through, if I can make it to the end, that's good. Then I'll worry about next season. And then if I can start next season, then I'll be like, can I get to the end? And it's me always just trying to strive to finish. And I don't think that's unreasonable thinking, but I did learn something. And like I said, in Connecticut just kind of popped into my mind. I thought, it doesn't matter if I finish. It matters. I'm stubborn and I got to make it. Each hike isn't like that isn't the goal. That isn't the goal. Starting with last season in 22, for me to be back out doing what I want to do from where I came from with cancer is a miracle. That's the completion. I'll never top that finish line, ever. I've made it. There's no finish line more epic than that one. These finish lines that I hit last year, this year on the AT, I didn't take 189 days to finish the AT. I took 189 victory laps. That's what I took away from it. I'll check back in after the new year and a little health update, what I'm doing, where I'm going. I will be YouTubing that as well, all the way through just like this. And hopefully every hike that I do, if I can make it to 2028. And then after that, I have no idea what I'm doing. See y'all.